Today's show is sponsored by Indie Film Hustle's Filmmaker Process. We provide filmmakers with professional services to get their films or series funded, finished, and distributed. For more information, go to filmmakerprocess.com. And one of the films you worked on was Hitchcock, which...
Yeah, well, that's that, but it's all to do with Anvil.
Right. So, like, how did Anvil get you Hitchcock?
So what happened was that Tom Pollock, who was another angel of mine, who had run Universal from 85 to 95, incredible guy, and he was partners with Ivan Reitman, and they had Montecito Pictures, and they financed, and they did, and they were fantastic. They just supported young filmmakers. I actually got my first fan letter about Anvil was from Tom Pollock, who saw the film and said, "This makes the old guys think they can keep going, and I want to meet you." Anyway, so they had this assignment for Hitchcock. And I was like, okay, obviously Hitchcock. I'm fascinated with the subject. Sure. I thought it was based on this thing that Hitchcock and the Making of Psycho. I thought the book was brilliant, and I was just like, so I thought, okay, my agent said, well, just go in and meet Tom Pollock. He likes your movie Anvil. And the meeting began with, "It's lovely to meet you. We love Anvil. You're not going to get this job, but anyway, it's nice to meet."
We just wanted to meet you.
Yeah. And I was just like, when someone says something's not going to happen, you're just like, fuck it. Okay, whatever. So I said, this has got to be about Alma and, the unknown force behind Hitch. And it's got to be fun and irreverent and tongue in cheek, hopefully. And it's, it's only a movie, don't take it too seriously. It's meant to be sort of droll in the way that Hitchcock was. So I pitched them this. Anyway, they were like, well, this is great, but, Anthony Hopkins, pretty major actor, probably you're not going to get past him. Anyway, he was a massive Anvil fan. I had no idea. Anvil. Hopkins was an Anvil fan. That's what fucking Helen knew.
Oh my God.
It just goes to show, like the Herman Anvil thing. You're coming from a place and you're doing it for your own fucking reasons. Fuck everyone else. And somehow that traveled. So Tony was like, let's do the film. And then Helen was like, love it, need a bit more of the Alma. So I did some work on the script. It was John McLaughlin's script, but I did do a little work on the Alma role. And and then the movie came together and Searchlight made the film. So, it was, and then I got Scarlett Johansson. I did have this weird moment where I was in rehearsals with Anthony Hopkins and Helen Mirren, and I was like, I can't believe I'm actually in that. I can't believe they're talking to me, let alone listening to a potential suggestion. Anyway, I learned so much. I mean, you can imagine like working with those people and Scarlett Johansson and Jeff Cronenweth and the incredible Pam Martin, who cut The Fighter, was cutting the movie, and working with Searchlight. I mean, it was an extraordinary learning experience. Yeah.
I you just said, like, I can't believe. I think if there's a biography about you ever, it's going to be called I Can't Believe. I just can't believe this is happening. Because from everything you've told me, there's just been one amazing event after another. And I know, look, these are the highlights, and I know there's been ups and downs throughout, like anybody's life. Yeah. But again, just like Hervé, just like Steve Zalian, and then you're like, oh, you're never going to get past Anthony Hopkins. He goes, oh, I saw your documentary. I'm a huge Anvil.
And I've seen it 3 times. Yeah, I mean, it's like...
What are the chances that the legendary Anthony Hopkins would be a fan of basically a failed metal band from the 80s that you happen to make a documentary about because you, by the way, happen to be their roadie?
The thing that people should take from all of this is that deep down... No, the thing that people should take from all this is that deep down inside, Anthony Hopkins feels like a failed metal band from the 80s. We all have this feeling, of like, it's human, right? We all, we're always on ourselves, and we're more critical of ourselves than perhaps anyone else is. And it's, so it was very truthful. It was about flawed human beings who are trying their best, who don't actually necessarily succeed. And I'd say of all the people I've met some of whom are massive successes, they don't necessarily think like that or feel that. They often just carry the wounds of the failures with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Strangely, it's just a weird thing that I've observed. I don't know if it's true, but I think that's sometimes true. So, some of the greatest successes feel like failures.
Oh, no, I mean, I could get 1,000 good reviews, but I'll focus on the one bad review. And
of course.
It's just, it's human nature. And it's so overwhelming because you've obviously been giving literally 1,000 reviews that are fantastic, but there's that one guy or gal who just like, you know what? Terminal.
Yeah.
But then there's 1,000 other ones that are just like
great terminal review. No, there was a great terminal review in an English newspaper. I can't forget it. It's a terrible review.
Yeah.
They said something like, watching this film was like standing in a waterfall of vomit and treacle.
Oh my God. What a visual.
And I just thought,
that's
okay.
brilliant.
But what I'm saying is I just remember that. I don't remember anything else apart from that. Like the worst kind of shiv, and I don't know, maybe that's just human nature.
I was talking to Troy Duffy, the famous director from Boondock Saints.
Sure.
That whole
legendary
documentary as well. And he told me, he's like, there was this one review. He goes, by the LA Times, I think. It was so brilliantly written that if you're going to get smashed by someone, at least let it be a really good writer, because it was entertaining. It was world-class beating.
You're gonna have to deal with that, man. You're gonna have to deal with getting shivved in every part of your body by someone. At some point, you're gonna have a knife sticking out of you. But you got to kind of also ignore it. It's like, having been a reviewer myself and having been a journalist, I really do understand what's on the other side of that. A lot of those people are blocked creatives. They're blocked filmmakers who aren't able to actually do it themselves for whatever reasons. Either they don't have the talent or the courage or both or whatever, or it just hasn't happened. So they're kind of bitter slightly, some of them. And others are really constructive, and they use the criticism to try and say, actually, here's how you could have done a better job. And and you can actually learn from a great review. You learn a ton of shit. So it's important to be aware of them and look for the stuff that you can learn from, rather than taking any of it too seriously. Because when it gets like nasty, the person's got like an axe to grind. Like, people have they've got an agenda that's not really about, like sometimes you read a review of something and you go, and you've seen the film and you go, they obviously did not see the same film. In fact, they watched the film. They just had, this is a review based on the idea of what they wanted it to be. And what I would say is, then go make your film. You know what I mean? But everyone's entitled to be creative in their own way. Anyway, so it's you can learn though. I think you can learn.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, Roger,
or by highly entertained by the standing in a waterfall of treacle and vomit, which is.
I mean, that's amazing. But like Roger Ebert literally got the Pulitzer for his criticism, his film criticism. And he's one of those, and he loved filmmakers. He loved filmmakers. And I have a Roger Ebert story I'll tell you off air afterwards, that when he was kind to a short film of mine.
Well, I mean, for example, when we had Anvil, right? Yeah. We didn't know if anyone was even going to see it, let alone review it. And it was incredible. I got the New Yorker one week, and we had 2.5 pages from Anthony Lane, who's one of the greatest reviewers. And he said, this is all about mortality and aging, and this is the ravages of time. And I was like, oh my God. But what I'm saying is, in the circumstance, people will get stuff from it that you didn't even intend. That you do something for a pure point of view, you do something for an emotional point of view, or you want to tell a certain story. And if there's something pure about it, people will bring in their own interpretations, which you had no idea, Yeah. So I feel lucky when that happens, and it has a couple of times, and I feel good about it. And the other stuff you learn from.
To watch the rest of this interview, head over to bulletproofscreenwriting.tv.